Welcome back to our pregame show. The Oskaloosa Indians playing at Washington tonight. Coach Ryan Parker of the Indians joins me now. And Oskaloosa coming off a nice win on Friday night against Dallas Center Grimes, a big second quarter spurt. I think it was 20-4 that really put the game out of reach.
Yeah, I thought we, the first quarter, they thrown a lot of different defenses at us. We were just trying to stay in, in what we were doing and trying to sort of feel it out. And then the second quarter, we got some transition buckets and got some stops that led out into runouts and, put one of our patented runs on a team. And like you said, it sort of, I wouldn't say put the game away, but it really put it in distance, and they weren't able to stick to their game plan because it was, a lot of times game plan is slow the ball down and limit our possessions. Well, when you're down by 15-20, that's hard to do.
And they did make a little, maybe not quite a tremendous run, but still in the third and fourth quarters, try to get a little bit closer, but not quite close enough.
Yeah, I mean, they shot the ball well. Their defensive game plan was spot on, and I told their coach, Coach Rankin, after the game, that was a good game plan. And they're just a young team that hung on and honestly probably got better from that game. Even getting beat by 14, 16 points, whatever it was. But in our conference, you're not going to blow teams out. It's going to be, if you win by 15, 16 points, that might be the blowout. And so for us, wins, we celebrate wins, whether it's by 1 or 100, and that's what we did on Friday night.
Xavier Foster, 21 points on the night. He also had 5 block shots, which puts him at 200+, and whoever is going to see the next record after he is finished is going to have quite a mountain to deal with.
I don't think that's ever getting broken. And he might make a run at the state blocks record. I don't know. I haven't looked at it far enough, but you got a lot of these small schools that, kids are blocking a lot of shots because there's nobody else big. But we're doing it at one of the best conferences, or Xavier's doing it at one of the best conferences in the state at a pretty high level. And honestly makes our defense so much better when you have him at the back end, and you can put a little bit more pressure on the perimeter, and then you just rely on Zay to block shots at the back end of it. And, whether he's blocking shots or not, he's an intimidating force.
He had 5 block shots. There were a couple of goaltending calls also, but then again, that's a bit like shots. You'll make shots, and sometimes you miss them. You go for a block shot sometimes, and you don't get it.
Yeah, we tell him to block shots. And honestly, we're okay with a couple goaltending calls because sometimes that's more mental than anything with that other, the other team. Of the 2 that he got the other night, I felt like one of them was a straight-up block, especially the one in front of our bench. But you know what? So like I said, the mental side, he gets into the other team, and, it gets into their head about, am I really going to take it at this 7-footer down low? And, I'm going to have to adjust my shots from here on out. And, we're okay with that because he is that intimidating force.
What were some other positive things from Friday night that you saw?
Again, our defense, you look at BC Moore, which is a statistical thing. It's not always correct, but they list us as the number 2 defense in the state in Class 3. Our defense is really good right now. And, you're holding teams to 40, you're going to win a lot of games no matter what. I mean, you could only score 42 like we did the first game or whatever it was, but you're going to win a lot of games when you hold teams to 40. So our defense has been good. We got kids learning on the fly, and I keep saying it every week, and I think we'll see a much improved team, Oskaloosa team, after Christmas break because you get that 2-week stretch of practices under your belt, and, the season's that much farther. But our young kids, the kids that didn't play for us last year are stepping in, and it may not still show in the stat sheet, but you still got to throw 5 guys on the floor, and they got to defend 5 other guys, and they're running our stuff and doing the things we're asking them to do.
Now tonight you take on a Washington team that is 1-2, and they faced the Fairfield team that you saw on opening night, and Fairfield handled them pretty well.
Yeah, I mean, you dive a little deeper into the box score. Fairfield was down, I think it was 14-6 at the end of the first quarter, and I asked Fairfield's coach what was going on. He says we missed a bunch of shots early, and they made a bunch of shots early, and then we got ready to play, and it was then we put them away. So sometimes you can't look at those things. You look more at matchups, but For us, this is year 5. We've never lost to Washington. That's the plan, is not to lose to Washington and take care of business. And then we got a tough week ahead even after that. Newton at home, and then Eddyville at their place, who's ranked number 4 in Class 2. And then next week's a dogfight. We got Pella and Norwalk, and that'll tell us all we need to know about ourselves after that week.
What will be the key things tonight?
Staying the course, doing the things we do, not deviating from the scouting report or the system, and honestly continuing to grow our younger kids, getting some more kids involved. The other night against DCG, 3 of our guys contributed to 55 of the 61. We got to have a little bit more contribution from the other 3 or 4, and we will. It's so early in the season. 4-0 is a great start, but we got to continue to grow.
All right. Thanks very much. Best of luck.
Thank you.
That's Ryan Parker, coach of the Oskaloosa Indians. We'll be back with the starting lineups as the Indians play at Washington. We'll be back in 2 minutes on KBOE FM and the No Coast Network.